Did you do it? It's November 18th, 2018, and I'd like to welcome you to Dogtown, California, USA. Located in California, Dogtown was established as a gold mining camp shortly after the 1849 California Gold Rush on a ridge overlooking the west branch of the Feather River Canyon. I'll show you the Feather River Canyon real quick here. There's the west branch. There's the canyon. I blotted that out on purpose. There's another creek on the other side. Okay. Moving along. Okay. Moving along. Okay. Up until 1859, Dogtown was known only to the locals and most probably preferred it that way. But in April 1859, a gigantic 54-pound gold nugget was discovered on the slopes of Sawmill Peak just across the canyon from west branch of the Feather River from Dogtown. Up to that time, it was the largest gold nugget ever discovered in the world. News like this travels fast. There's a plaque dedicated to the Dogtown nugget at the location it was found. And it was dedicated, well, it looks like 1955 they put that there. Okay. And someone was nice enough to give us the coordinates on their GPS unit there. Okay, why are they calling it Dogtown? There was a reason why so many dogs had made their appearance in this area. It seems that a Mrs. Bassett had reached the area following the Susanville Highway on foot. She had neither horse nor wagon, and her entire possessions consisted of 3 dogs of uncertain ancestry, 2 females and 1 male. When she reached the ridge overlooking the west branch of the Feather River, she decided to pitch her tent and try her luck. Mrs. Bassett was a tough old gal, but she was no miner and had to find other ways to get by. Fortunately, soon after she arrived, her pups multiplied and saved the day. Most of the men who came from California in the early days came with other men, or they came alone, leaving their families thousands of miles behind. These men became quite lonely and longed for some sort of companionship. Recognizing the needs of the homesick miners, Mrs. Bassett sold her puppies to the local miners for 1 large pinch of gold dust each. Soon every cabin in the area had a canine companion. There were dogs in the stores, dogs in the saloons, dogs everywhere. It's no wonder then the strangers to the area would remark upon their arrival, "This must be Dogtown." First accounts. One of the earliest known written accounts describing Dogtown was made after the journey of Robert Stewart and his 2 sons, Granville and James, who left Iowa in 1852 to seek their fortunes in the California gold fields. After arriving in California, they traversed the American Valley, continuing on through Bidwell's Bar, then on through Morris Ravine near Cherokee, finally arriving at Sam Neal's Rancho near present-day California. Granville Stewart recorded his first impressions of Neal's Rancho and Dogtown. Quote, "We spent a week at Sam Neal's ranch in the valley, but as every meal we ate cost each one of us $1, James and I determined to leave and go up into the mountains to the gold mines. We went 16 miles up in the foothills to a little village on the ridge between the west branch of the Feather River and another little creek. This village was known as, because there was a sawmill nearby, run by water power from the other little creek, but it soon got its proper and well-deserved name of Dogtown, for although there were only 10 houses, there were 16 fully developed dogs." Okay. Dubbed the Dogtown Nugget, the discovery made headlines in the newspaper all across the United States and started a small gold rush to the area. It seemed at the time that the name Dogtown would never be forgotten, but things changed. As the area grew and the miners found more gold, some decided to stay and make the place their home. They sent for their wives and families and began to settle in. Unfortunately for Dogtown, the women who came were not too pleased with the name. An item appeared in the Marysville Appeal on August 16, 1860, from one of the discontented wives of Dogtown. "We should hate to live in a place called Dogtown, particularly if we had a large correspondence and had to write the name frequently." Accordingly, in 1862, the female residents of Dogtown demanded that the name be changed and the community was renamed, the Latin word for cottages. So there you have it. Dogtown became a new name, and the women had their way. Some things never changed. Note, although most people called the new town by its name after 1862, the area was still referred to as Dogtown by many old-timers until the turn of the century. Bachelors, I suppose. I'm going to give you the link to where I got that there. I'm going to go on to read this here. The rarest and largest gold nuggets in California history. Some of the largest gold nuggets in history have come from California. The Freecoat nugget is one of the largest crystalline gold nuggets ever found. It weighed 201 troy ounces, or 13.8 pounds. Large crystalline nuggets of this variety are rarer than solid nuggets, and their beauty only increases their value. This doesn't come near to the largest gold nuggets ever found, however. Compare the Freecoat nugget to the largest ever found in California, a 109.2-pound beauty discovered by 5 prospectors in 1869. It was located nearby in the Sierra Buttes. Though this rates as one of the largest gold nuggets ever found, the record is held by an even rarer behemoth. The Welcome Stranger was also found in 1869, although it was discovered halfway around the world in Victoria, Australia. It still weighed 210 pounds, even after being trimmed. That nugget is estimated to be worth $4 million in modern prices. Well, there's the Sierra Buttes, northwest of Carson City, north of I-80 there, just to show you where that's at. I'm going to give you the link to that, what I just read. And here's a video. I'm going to give you a link to the replica. There's a replica of this big 109-pound nugget in the Sierra City Museum. Where did I hear that name before? Huh. Sierra City. Where did I hear that? I'm going to give you a link to that video. And here's Our Land, Collateral for National Debt. I read that to you on a previous video, so I can blow by it here. Okay, I'm going to get right through there, and I'm going to give you all these links. Okay. And in there, it mentioned the Brundtland Report, and I'm going to give you that link. And it also mentions something about the Rim of the Valley National Park. I'll give you that link so you know where that's at. Giant gold nugget found in California, finds secret buyer. Okay, now we're moving forward in time now. California gold nugget life changer. Longtime metal detectorist Digger Bob, published October 26, 2014. San Francisco. The new owner of the so-called nugget and its exact prices will both remain mysteries at the buyer's request. California gold nuggets, a life changer. Longtime metal detectorist Digger Bob says. There's old Digger. Don Kagan, the Tiburon-based coin dealer who brokered the deal, said that a prominent Bay Area collector paid about $400,000 for the nugget weighing 6.07 pounds. That wasn't far off from being the asking price, he said. Historically, prospectors find giant gold nuggets in California during the 19th century gold rush days, including a 54-pound chunk found in Butte County in 1859. It has been decades since a report of anyone discovering a rock of 6 pounds or more in California. The gold hunter who found this nugget found it in July in the mountains of something county. He also asked Keegan to keep his name and the location of the discovery a secret. Reports of the nugget pending sale caused a near frenzy among gold and history buffs, with the newspaper reporting one bidder inquiring from Australia. That came from Fox News. I'm going to give you that link. Now I'm going to change gears. How many of you remember the Oroville spillway crisis? Well, I dug up an article 1 year later. It was dated February 12th, 2018. And it kind of recaps the chronology of that Oroville spillway crisis. Okay, it started October 1st, 2016 through January 31st. The California water year starts in October. And was quickly on track to become one of the wettest in recent years. The heavy rain ended the California 5-year drought and became the second wettest year since 1983 in terms of runoff. According to the Department of Water Resources, large swaths of the North State received between 200 and 300% of the average rainfall. This meant that reservoirs like the one sitting behind the Oroville Dam quickly grew to capacity. And I'm going to give you the link to this too, and I'm just going to scroll through it. It tells you, day by day. There's a picture of the hole in the spillway. Okay, and then February 8th and 9th and 10th. Okay, I'm going to give you all that. Additional background. In 2005, the DWR applied for a renewal of its operating license for Oroville hydroelectric generating facilities. Now that's an interesting read. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down. Gold rush at Oroville Dam. Bureau of Land Management says keep out. Flood gold rush in North California. Okay. Now there's a video here I'm gonna link you to. Right here. I'm gonna go back. Just gonna show you the video. Well, the thumbnail. Alright. Well, come on. Holy smokes. Alright. Alright. I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that link. Okay. We'll go back to here. Okay, again, I'm gonna change some gears again. You know, we talked about the Bilderberger Group. Alright. Alright, let's see. Okay, Dogtown. Alright. Dogtown is now known as, remember this map I showed you? There's the west branch of the Feather River and the ridge, and the Little Butte Creek is on the other side. It's now called Magalia. That's the town name. And it is located, of course, on a ridge in between the Feather River and the Butte Creek. And it's just north of Paradise. Paradise, California. I'll be darned. And the West Feather River and its tributaries feed the Oroville Lake. It's all simply a coincidence. Well, where's Sierra City? Remember that name? Well, there's Sierra City over there. And here's Oroville Lake there. And here's Paradise here. And here's the Feather River. So, it's coming into rainy season. And hydroblasting those hills with Paradise right there wasn't going to be too nice of a deal. They were going to get some flack, weren't they? Well, land for collateral. Bilderberg Group, I'll give you those links. Oh, here. Rain and mudslides will help uncover more. It has entered the rainy season. Now, this comes from the Paradise Fire Station. And this is from November of 2014 through November of 2016. It kind of shows you the October through, we'll say, April is the rainy season there. And this is what it looked like 2017 going into 2018. January, April, and that's the dam crisis in there, okay? And then October, oh, here it is. Here's the dam crisis. The Oroville dam crisis took place in here. Now we're just getting ready to come into another rainy season, and it just so happens that instead of hydroblasting, they're going to get a lot of help from the rainy season, washing some of that gold, exposing some of that gold. Or are they? I don't know. I'm not going to make all these connections. I'm just showing you. I'm going to try to give you all, I'm going to give you all the links that I got, and it just seems to me that, oh, this is where the Bilderbergers are going to have that meeting. And it's all in this gold region. Well, that's just awesome. You know, there's Paradise, there's Oroville Lake. There's Paradise. There's Magalia right north of there. That's where that 54-pound nugget was found, right in there. And then, of course, this is where the 109-pound nugget was found. So, I just wanted to bring this to your attention and throw this out there. I'm going to shoot a bunch of links at you and just let you know that, you know, they may be wanting to create a wilderness area out of this so they can collateralize some of our national debts. Did you do it? This is Did You Do It? It's November 18th, 2018, and I'm just kind of laying the groundwork for my next video. I'm going to do some reading. Sorry about that in advance. And this is an article written by Derry Brownfield. It's called Our Land, Collateral for the National Debt. It was originally printed on August 17th, 2007. And here we go. I consider Wayne Hague one of the most intelligent men I ever met. On our very first visit, he was explaining the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and how the world bankers planned on collateralizing the world debt with land. Not just the U.S. national debt, but the world debt. A listener sent me a copy of a report of the Fourth World Wilderness Congress, which was held in Denver in 1987. Over 1,500 people from 60 countries were told that wilderness lands were to protect the reindeer, the spotted owl, and other endangered species. 90% of the group consisted of conservatists, ecologists, and government and the United Nations bureaucrats. The other 10% were world banking heavyweights such as David Rockefeller, Edmund Rothschild, and the Secretary of U.S. Treasury James Baker, who gave the keynote address. George Hunt, an investment counselor, served as the official host and sat in on all the meetings. It was George Hunt that wrote the report from which I have gleaned much of my information. During the first 3 days, the group was told that the Wilderness Congress was about beating the ozone deterioration and bringing the rainforests back. The following days were closed to the public. With only the bankers in attendance, the topics discussed centered around the creation of a World Conservation Bank, with collateral being derived from the receipt of wilderness properties throughout the world. This bank would have central bank power similar to the Federal Reserve. It would create currency and loans and engage in international discounting, countertrade, barter, and swap actions. Rothschild personally conducted the monetary matters and the creation of this World Conservation Bank. This bank would refinance by swapping debt for assets. A country with a huge national debt would receive money to pay off the debt by swapping the debt for wilderness lands. The plan was to swap $1 trillion of third world debt into this new bank. In the long term, when the countries won't be able to pay off the loans, governments from around the world will give title to their wilderness lands to the bankers. George Hunt wrote, "Title to the lands will go to the World Wilderness Land Inventory Trust. This trust will float into the World Conservation Bank by the unanimous decree of the world's people saying, 'God bless you for saving our reindeer.'" Those people at the Congress were ignorant. They don't suspect anything. They're very naive. Not stupid, ignorant. I'm talking about the 90% that were not the world banking heavyweights. Hunt goes on to say that World Bank loans, as they stand now, are not collateralized. They're saying, we want collateral. So when we loan swap this debt, we are going to own this Amazon if you default. They're going to make the bad loans good by collateralizing them after the fact with all this land, and somebody is going to end up with title to 12.5 billion acres. They have multi-trillions of dollars upon which they can create currencies and loans, and they're going to begin to barter and counter-trade and loan swap against the United States. The World Conservation Bank is a scheme to monetize land. This will function as a world central bank, and out of that bank will grow a one world fiat currency. This isn't some scheme conjured up during the Bush's and Clinton's administrations. The United Nations World Commission on Environment and Development was created in 1982. The Commission published the Brundtland Report, setting the stage for unlimited enactments to take over ecology and environmental and pollution laws throughout the world. The report stated, "We will have a proposal for very harsh, quasi-spiritual ecological laws for Mother Earth. A Mother Earth comes first mentality will arise throughout the world." When James Baker made his keynote speech in 1987, he stated that no longer will the World Bank carry this debt unsecured. The only assets we have to collateralize are federal lands and national parks. Baker's definition of federal lands includes heritage sites, of which there are about 20 in the United States. I say about 20 because they are being added on a regular basis. As I write this article, Congress is about to vote on a proposed Rim of the Valley National Park that would include over 500,000 acres of national forest land and 170,000 parcels of private property, including many farms and ranches. At the time there is a bill before Congress at this time called the Northern Rockies Ecosystem Protection Act that would increase the acreage of designated wilderness by 50% in the lower 48 states. While our heritage sites take in quite a large amount of territory, such as Yellowstone National Park and Mesa Verde and Grand Canyon and the Everglades. Other countries have much greater areas. Brazil, for example, has the Amazon Conservation Complex, and Canada has the Canadian Rocky Mountain Parks. As I write this story, the list includes 851 properties in 141 countries, comprising over one-third of the Earth's land mass. Will all this land collateralize the world debt? Probably not, so long as it comes the NAIS, the National Animal Identification System. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, the first step in implementing the National Animal Identification System is identifying and registering premises that are associated with the animal agriculture industry. In terms of the NAIS, a premise is any geographically unique location in which agricultural animals are raised, held, or boarded. Under this definition, farms, ranches, feed yards, auction barns, and livestock exhibitions and fair sites all are examples of premises. That may be the definition some government bureaucrat will give you when the word premises under the International Criminal Court Act 2002 Section 4 states, the word premises includes a place and a conveyance. Why check with the International Criminal Court Act? Because on June 8, 2007, under Secretary of Agriculture Bruce Knight, speaking at the World Pork Expo in Des Moines, is quoted as saying, "We have to live by the same international rules we are expecting other people to do." All right. Throughout the entire draft National Animal Identification System User's Guide, land is referred to as a premises and not property. A premises has no protection under the Constitution of the United States, while property always has the exclusive rights of the owner tied to it. Property rights are protected by the 5th and 14th Amendments of the Constitution. The word premise is a synonym for the word tenement. A definition of the word tenement in law is property such as land held by one person, leasing it to another. Webster's New World Dictionary, 1960 College Edition, defines premises as the part of a deed or a lease that states its reason, the parties involved, and the property in conveyance. Webster then defines conveyance as the transfer of ownership of real property from one person to another. It is quite obvious that the bureaucrats in Washington had a very good reason to use the term premises and never mention property. Let's take another look at the wilderness areas and the World Bank's plans to collateralize its loans. While the wilderness areas cover about one-third of the Earth's surface, they are wilderness areas for a good reason. They were useless or difficult to homestead, farm, or use in a constructive manner. Worldwide, the best and more valuable land is occupied by farmers, ranchers, and people with the ambition to produce. Wouldn't the world bankers rather have some productive property than mountains, deserts, or swamps? I am convinced that the word premise will put an encumbrance on your deed. The bankers say that they want to monetize land. It's your land and my land they want to monetize. The bankers are in process of accumulating the wealth of the world. Very few privately owned assets can be termed real wealth. According to the Scripture, God made Abraham very wealthy, giving him land, cattle, silver, and gold. Genesis 24:35. 4,000 years later, wealth continues to be land, cattle, silver, and gold. I don't know where the world deposits of gold are stored. I do. I don't. But I'm sure that the bankers have them in control. That only leaves land and cattle, which I believe could be next on the list. Genesis 47 describes how Joseph had storehouses full of grain to feed the people, but he didn't have a welfare program. During the first year of the famine, Joseph took all of the money the people had for only 1 year's supply of grain. The second year, he took all their cattle for another year's supply of grain. The next year, they said, "We have nothing left but our bodies and our land. Buy us and our land in exchange for food, and we and our land will be servants to the Pharaoh." Genesis 47:21 states. And as for the people, he removed them to the cities and made slaves of them. James Madison made a statement concerning how our people could lose our freedom by gradual and silent encroachment of those in power. It is possible that those in power today are gradually and silently in the process of removing the people to cities to make slaves of them. Federalizing our land and our cattle would certainly be a step in that direction. Now I'm going to give you a link to this here. I'm going to conclude this video, but I'm going to do another video right behind this one well, it's going to knock your socks off. This is Did You Do It? This is Did You Do It? It's November 18th, 2018, and far be it from me to make any connections. On my last video, I started you out on this Our Land Collateral for the National Debt, and I'm going to jump over to this article here. I can't speak to the validity of this website. It's called Gish Gallop, titled The Bilderberg Group to Meet in Sierra City in 2019. I'm going to do a little bit more reading. Sorry about that in advance. And here we go. Sierra City, California. The annual private meeting of North American and European elites, known as the Bilderberg Group, announced this week that they will be holding their annual conference at the Harrington Sierra Pines Resort in June of 2019. According to Chairman Henry de Castries, the site was chosen due to its remote location and convenient helicopter landing area directly across from the resort. It makes perfect sense to hold our annual meeting in Sierra City, said Mr. Castries in broken English in a Gish Gallop telephone interview. It is the perfect place with trees and beautiful mountains. It is also far enough away to confuse Alex Jones, and it is also the final resting place of Adolf Hitler. Now, I'm not speaking to any validity here, but just follow me. The Bilderberg Group, Bilderberg Conference, Bilderberg Meetings, or Bilderberg Club is an annual private conference of 120 to 150 people of the European and North American political elite, experts from industry, finance, academia, and the media, established in 1954. According to some, the Bilderberg Group is the leadership committee for the Council on Foreign Relations, IMF, World Bank, Trilateral Commission, EU, and powerful central bankers from the Federal Reserve, the ECB's Jean-Claude Trichet, and Bank of England's Mervyn King, to name a few. Okay. Apparently, Gish Gallop reached out to the local Bilderberg expert, Sky Wolford, whoever that is, for his insights on the infamous and secretive group. Cool picture. Look at that helicopter. Okay. It says here the residents of Sierra City, California are readying themselves for helicopters. All right. Whatever its early mission, said Mr. Wolford, who visited Gish Gallop offices earlier this week, the Bilderberg Group is now a shadow world government threatening to take away our right to direct our own destinies by creating a disturbing reality, very much harming the public's welfare. In short, Bilderbergers want to supplant individual nation-state sovereignty with an all-powerful global government, corporate-controlled, and checkmated by the militarized enforcement. According to the management at Harrington's, they have no knowledge about the upcoming meeting. When pressed, they told us they have no comment, but also said that we should know because that Lou guy was invited. Look, we're not going to talk about it, said a spokesperson for the famous mountain resort. If you need more information on it, talk to Dwayne Gish, whoever that is. As it turns out, Gish Gallop has been invited to attend the 2019 Bilderberg Group meeting. I can't talk much about the invite, said Mr. Gish in an email, but suffice it to say Bill Gates is a huge Gish Gallop fan and personally invited me. You can only get in by invite. Or, in the case of Alex Jones, you can force yourself in with a bullhorn, but that behavior normally doesn't get you the good seats, if you know what I mean. Enough said. According to the people at Gish Gallop's extended InfoWars network, conspiracy theorist par excellence Alex Jones has made no announcement about whether he plans on protesting the event. Gish Gallop plans on covering the 3-day event and will attempt to interview any prominent persons as they land in the grassy meadow just across from Harrington Sierra Resort. Okay, apparently that's the end of the article there. And I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. I've got maybe one, possibly two more videos that's going to go along with this. But I just want to get this out. I don't think 15 minutes was enough time, so I'm breaking it up into pieces. So, did you do it?